Hey there, foodies! In today's world, people want a healthier diet. We often discard some foods because we think that they are unhealthy. The good news is, not all of these foods are bad for us. For example, chocolate milk is a good source of protein and calcium. Also, did you know that eating nuts can lower your risk of diabetes? In today's video, we're talking guilty pleasure foods that are actually good for you. Number 1. Red meat. Why is it called a guilty pleasure? A common belief with red meat is it's loaded with fat, cholesterol, and growth hormones. People trying hard to lose weight often avoid it. While all of that is true to some extent, there are also positives to consider. Why should you have red meat? One of the most common nutrients you need in order to burn fat is protein. Red meat is one of the most well-known sources. Apart from that, it also contains a lot of iron, vitamin B12, and zinc. Not so harmful now, don't you think? Number 2. Bread. Why is it called a guilty pleasure? Bread is thought to be full of calories. About 100 grams of bread contains more than 250. That doesn't always mean you shouldn't eat it. Why should you have bread? When made of whole grains, bread is very nutritious. It includes vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. Additionally, more commercially available breads are fortified. This means that they will have a lot of B vitamins as well. Buy bread that is made from whole grains. Number 3. Eggs. Why are they considered a guilty pleasure? Eggs contain a lot of fat. They're also known to raise cholesterol levels. As a result, many nutrition enthusiasts suggest avoiding them. But again, let's talk about the positives. Why should you have eggs? Eggs are possibly one of the cheapest sources of protein. This helps to build muscles and strengthen your bones. Apart from that, eggs contain lutein, a component that prevents eye disease from happening. Oh, and it's usually the yolk that holds this component. So checkmate, nutrition experts! Before we continue, check out our video on the best foods to have if you are on a diet. Continuing with this video, let's talk about the next guilty pleasure food. Number 4. Potato. Why is it a guilty pleasure? Potatoes are considered to have a very high amount of calories in them. It's for this reason that dietitians and nutritionists hate potatoes. While it is true that potatoes have a lot of calories, they also have important nutrients. This brings us into the pros. Why should you have potatoes? Potatoes are rich in dietary fiber, which is good for digestion. It's also a great source of vitamin C, the same vitamin C that develops your bones and muscles. Number 5. Nuts. How are they a guilty pleasure food? Well, to begin with, nuts contain a lot of fat and calories, but in this case, it's been blown out of proportion. Why should you consider having nuts? We've already mentioned that nuts can lower your risk of diabetes. They are filled with monounsaturated fat, which helps in the fight against inflammation. These fats are the ones responsible for reducing the risk of diabetes and heart disease. So yes, while nuts do have a lot of fat, they're good fats. Number 6. Chocolate milk. How is it a guilty pleasure? Chocolate milk contains a lot of sugar and, along with that, a lot of calories. When you have too much of it, you run the risk of adding more fat and getting diabetes. This means if consumed in moderation, it is okay, right? Well, it's more than just okay. Why should you consider having chocolate milk? Like we mentioned in the beginning, chocolate milk contains a lot of protein. It also happens to be a decent source of calcium and potassium. If those things aren't enough to convince you, then perhaps its vitamin D content will. Since we're on the topic, try watching our video on what eating dark chocolate does to your body. Let's keep the caffeine train rolling, shall we? Number 7. Coffee. Why is it a guilty pleasure? To put it simply, the caffeine is the problem. Caffeine is a known killer of sleep. Not getting enough can cause a headache, fatigue, and even some optical problems. Why should you have coffee? Besides its downsides, coffee also comes with a lot of antioxidants. These fight diseases and infections in your body. Just make sure that you don't drink coffee before going to bed. Drink it at least 6 hours before going to sleep. While we're here, you can check out our video on 8 signs you're drinking too much coffee. Number 8. Butter. Why is it a guilty pleasure? Butter isn't a friend to you if you have problems keeping your cholesterol in check. It also contains a lot of fats and carbohydrates. It's for these reasons that butter is often discarded as unhealthy. Why should you have butter? Butter contains fatty acids, which are good for your body. It's also a good source of monounsaturated fat, just like nuts. Along with that, butter contains a good amount of vitamins A and D. Just make sure that you control your butter consumption. Number 9. White chocolate. Why is it a guilty pleasure? We've already talked about chocolate milk and coffee, but unlike those picks, white chocolate doesn't contain cocoa solids. Some people even think it only contains sugar and calories. Why should you indulge in it? Despite not having cocoa solid, white chocolate contains cocoa butter. Yes, it is made from sugar and milk, but it's also good for your heart. More importantly, white chocolate contains linoleic acid. This can prevent the risk of hypertension. Whoa! All of these foods being branded as unhealthy are turning out to be quite useful. This begs the question, are there any foods that are guilty pleasures? Well, of course. Number 1. Chewing gum. These tiny treats contain nothing but flavor. Some chewing gum even contains sugar and alcohol, small substances that can cause indigestion. We know you don't swallow them, but you are still chewing them and swallowing the components they're made from. So whether or not you think they're harmless, chewing gum is an actual guilty pleasure. Number 2. Alcohol. This is a pretty obvious and straightforward one. There are a lot of people who regularly indulge in drinking. Whether it's a glass of wine at Thanksgiving or a beer at a party, drinking booze isn't good news for your body, especially your kidneys. You can also check out our video, 5 Diseases that are linked to alcohol drinking. It will help you understand how harmful alcohol can be. You might think a glass of wine once in a while wouldn't be as bad, but we would neither promote nor recommend it. Number 3. Potato chips. While potatoes are quite good for your health, potato chips are not. You see, in most cases, potato chips contain added flavors and not the real thing. Add the fact that it's kept in an airtight plastic bag for a long time. Oh, and there's also those carbohydrates, calories, and fats to consider. This is why it's safe to say that potato chips are yet another guilty pleasure. Do you consider any of these foods a guilty pleasure? Would you try any of them now that you know they're not so bad? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Enjoyed this video? Hit like, share, and subscribe to Bestie. Wait, what kind of bestie are we if we don't tell you about our other awesome videos? Go ahead, choose the left or right video, and enjoy.